Hey y'all, how's everyone doing today? I hope everybody is having a great week. It is almost the weekend, time to do all of our chores. Aren't you excited? Um, so I really love today's devotion. It was something I was thinking about this morning, and I actually think I used this scripture the other day, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it anyways because as I was thinking this morning, this is what came to mind. So, not that I, oh, Philippians chapter 4, 11 through 13. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned to, in whatever state I am, to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to be abound. How to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And any other time that I have read that scripture, I've thought about money. I have thought about not having enough money to pay the bills or buy groceries or whatever the thing is. But this morning I was thinking about all kinds of things. I was thinking about my kids, and my son would go tomorrow to get his driver's license. And I think about, well, I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about, writing these devotionals and doing these videos. And I got to praying, and I said, Lord, if this is all you ever want me to do, I'm okay with that. I'm happy. If you want me to do more, then give me what I need to do it. But honestly, if this is all I ever do, if I never stand in front of anyone else and talk, if I never teach another class, if all I do is write books and do my website and do these videos, then I'll be happy. Now, if he wants to take those, I'll be happy too. I'll do whatever he wants me to do. But right now, I'm very content. That's not to say that there isn't spiritual warfare for doing all this, but you get what I mean. And then I thought about my son that I mentioned earlier. I thought about how, you know, these past several years it has been a job getting him and his sister to school. They're 4 years apart, so they are always in different schools. They're never in the same school at the same time. So I'm going to two schools every morning and most afternoons. And then there's football practice and going to and from and all the football games. And then, there's friends and girlfriends and coming and going and doing all this stuff. And for a long time I was like, well, I can't wait till he gets his license and he can do some of this. And now that it's here, I wished I had enjoyed it a little more. And we have hopes and dreams and goals, and we want to be. I think in the devotion I wrote that we want to own a house by the time we're 40, or we want to be at this point in our career by a certain age. And there's nothing wrong with being hopeful, being expectant, having goals, personal goals. I think it's important to have goals. But I think even more than that, it's more important to focus on where you are now and be content no matter the circumstances. Because our circumstances do not define our happiness. Our circumstances do not define our joy. Our joy comes from the Lord. And that is why when we're in trying circumstances or trying seasons, we need to look to the Lord, because if you can learn how to be joyful no matter the circumstances, to be content no matter the circumstances, your entire life will change. And my daughter, she was the second child, and she was very difficult. And it wasn't her fault, she was a baby. She had colic and acid reflux, and she would not sleep laying down. She had to sleep sitting up, and it was a horrible time. And she did that till she was 3 years old. She would not sleep through the night, but it was so hard. And I remember, and it's hard to enjoy it when you're tired and exhausted and dealing with postpartum depression and all this other kind of stuff. And then it was gone. And there was no more. One day as soon as she learned how to walk, she did not want nobody telling her what to do. She didn't want to hold a hand. She didn't want to be toted. She was ready to go. And it had me wishing for those days when I could hold her again. My son, he used to like for me to snuggle in the bed with him. And I would be so tired, and I'd be like, I just want you to go to sleep. and one day he doesn't ask anymore. And I know it's hard. Like I said, when we get tired and we have a lot going on, we really want it to go by faster to get to the next season. When are they old enough to do more for themselves? And then that day gets here and you're just like, you miss that closeness. And maybe you're dreaming of having more money. Maybe you're working hard to create a life where you don't have to struggle all the time. But you're so big, you get so caught up working that by the time you have a life where you don't struggle and you can enjoy everything, you look back and realize that a lot of the small things you did were more meaningful back then. And we all work very hard for what we have. Most of us do. But let's not get so wrapped up in that we don't. We're going to go on a field trip. This cat won't stop meowing until I let her out. I thought I let them all outside. I'm coming. There you go. Field trip today. But anyways, let's not get so caught up in the future that we want that we forget to live in the present, even though it's hard. You know, I'm not going to attempt to put that thing in there. Look, my lunch got all over my shirt. But anyways, so that's my thoughts for today. Are you content? If your life stayed the same right now, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with, like, could you find joy in it? You know, maybe you're not ever going to make $100,000 a year. That's okay. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's nice to live a comfortable life, and it's nice to have the relief of money, I would assume. I would assume. But is it worth not being with your family? Is it? So, I don't have a whole lot today. I just wanted y'all to think about that, because that's what I thought this morning. And, your ministry, if you have a ministry, if it never gets any farther than where you're at right now, would you be okay with that? Would you be content? And I think that's a big question. We all want, well, most people want these big things. They want to help millions and millions of people, and they want to do all this stuff. And I have this big dream in my heart that the Lord gave me, like, I don't know, like 7, 8, 9 years ago, something like that. I don't know. And I had really forgotten all about it. And several months ago, he kind of brought it back to my mind, and he was like, all right, let's go. I said, okay. So this is where I started. And I got to thinking about it today, because anytime I have to get up and speak in front of people, I've done it a few times, and I feel like it's awful. I feel awful. I feel like I'm not helping anybody. And I thought about it this morning, and I said, Lord, you know what? If that's something you don't want me to do, then tell me, because I'm content right where I'm at. And if you want me to stop doing the stuff I'm doing, or you want me to do something else, I'll be content with that. So that's something we have to think about. But what are you doing today? Are you content where you are? Are you happy where you are? Do you need to seek God for your joy back? Because if you don't have it, no one stole it from you. The devil didn't steal your joy. Your circumstances didn't steal your joy. You let go of it, and you left it somewhere. And go back and get it, because I guarantee it's sitting right next to Jesus. I love y'all. I hope everybody has a great day. And hey, I have some really exciting news. Today is September 25th, and do you know what that means? That means Christmas is exactly 3 months. October, November, December. I'm excited. I love Christmas. I love decorating. If you don't, I'm sorry. I guess. I don't know. But I love you guys. Have a great day. See you next time.